One Zambia, One Nation, and welcome to ZANIS News. We look at the top stories in the news. Zambia and China MOUs to be actualized. East PS calls for opening of Chipata industrial yards. Government funds drilling of 6 industrial boreholes in Katete. Plus Zambia tossed win against Sierra Leone. And now the new main news in detail. My name is Margaret Kangwa and my sign language interpreter is Imelda Mulea. Now, President Hakainde Hichilema has urged the World Bank Group to take necessary decisions and steps to help countries like Zambia avoid going into economic shutdown. President Hichilema said there is need for the World Bank Group to make a decision on the catastrophe deferred drawdown option, cut DDO, so as to help Zambia avoid an economic shutdown. The cut DDO is a contingent credit line that provides immediate liquidity to International Bank for Reconstruction and Development (IBRD) member countries in the aftermath of a natural disaster. Mr. Hichilema says climate change has brought new dimensions which government did not fuse into its debt restructuring and sustainability programming and has consequently affected the country's 2024 growth projection of 4.7%. President Hichilema was speaking when World Bank team, led by Regional Vice President for Southern and Eastern Africa, Victoria Kwakwa, paid a courtesy call on him at State House. Details in this report.
President Hakainde Hichilema this morning welcomed the team from the World Bank, led by Vice President for Southern and Eastern Africa, Victoria Kwakwa. Mr. Hichilema shared on how climate change has adversely affected the energy and agriculture sector. He has since welcomed the move by the World Bank to introduce the catastrophe deferred drawdown option, or CAT DDO, as it will help cushion shocks brought about by climate change.
Climate change negatively affects the drought in particular, or floods, as it may be, in some cases, is brought a new dimension, which we did not fuse into our calculation of Minister and ST, the debt sustainability, right? So when we did the numbers, to give you one clear example, you don't have to go far, you don't have to fish around. Our growth projection was that this year we were going to go to 4.7% GDP growth. But because of this exogenous variable, we're now talking about 2% plus. We don't know where we'll settle. Largely because of two things for us. The drought has injected two national risks: energy, food. And this leadership also needs to work with friends like yourselves to ameliorate the damage that has been caused by this factor. We can front load that project so that make energy available for one, irrigation agriculture, to avoid an economic shutdown, which may even escalate this damage even the 2+% growth we're talking about. The economic shutdown through energy shutting down, it means lesser growth. It means more difficulties. From where we sit, I think we need to ask you to front load that project, which is up to 20 into the 30s, but see what we can pack and bring forward since the program is already in place. And then the CAT TDO, could you take this to your board to make sure that the board resolves or makes a decision on this CAT TDO? Here is December or something like that when you're going to the board. That will be our ask.
And Secretary to the Treasury, Felix Nkulukusa, shared on how government is working with the bank regarding the energy sector.
We are working very closely with the country team, supported with the country director who is based in Tanzania, On the energy project, the National Energy Advancement and Transformational Project in the World Bank, they always call it NEAT. And this is a project that runs from 2023 to 2033. It is a $700 million project aimed at making ZESCO sustainable and as well as attracting a new investment, new private sector investment that should come at scale. In phase one, that runs from 2023 up to 2026, we did have an allocation of $100 million, and we signed the agreement, and we met the conditions precedent, and just last week a disbursement of $25 million was done, and we are committing that we have already issued instructions to send this money to ZESCO to start the transformation agenda that we have.
Meanwhile, Ms. Victoria Kwakwa said the CAT DDO project will reach the World Bank board before the end of the year.
We're bringing a new instrument to the table that we haven't used before in Zambia. It's called the CAT DDO. The World Bank has a lot of acronyms, as you know, but it's really contingent financing that is available for shocks like this, whether it's climate shocks, whether it's health shocks, but primarily for climate shocks. One part of it supports you on reforms for resilience, and then the other part makes the financing available. It can be drawn on super quickly if a crisis hits, so you don't have to be stuck looking for how do I finance, how do I support, and we're taking a project like this to the board before the end of the calendar year. So that will also shore up your resilience and your ability to withstand some of these shocks. For us, we will continue to work with you to push this agenda and also to put the things in place that will really stimulate growth in a way that you're able to achieve your objectives of reducing poverty and uplifting all Zambians.
Shilika Chabalengula for ZANIS in Lusaka.
Now, the Chinese embassy in Lusaka says the Memorandum of Understanding MOUs signed during President Hakainde Hichilema's visit to China during the just-ended Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Summit will be actualized soon in areas such as energy, mining and agriculture, among others. Chinese ambassador to Zambia, Han Jing, says the comprehensive strategic and cooperation partnership between China and Zambia has been elevated. He explained that during the visits, China and Zambia engaged in substantive and thorough discussions on diversifying Zambia's energy mix to alleviate the current energy deficit. Now, speaking during a press briefing in Lusaka today on the 2024 FOCAC Summit at the President Hakainde Hichilema's visit to China, Mr. Jing says a number of cooperation documents were signed to ensure sustainable power supply in the country. He stressed that the projects, once completed, will generate at least an additional 720 megawatts of electricity in Zambia in the months and years to come.
The visit has proven exceptionally fruitful in the following areas. First, I would like to mention about the revitalization of Tanzania. President Hichilema, together with President Xi Jinping and President Hassan of Tanzania, witnessed the signing of an MOU on the revitalization of the Tanzania Railway. The second area I would like to mention is energy, which is the top priority on President Hichilema's agenda. During the visit, the two sides had substantive and thorough discussions on diversifying Zambia's energy mix to elevate to a great extent the current energy deficit. I think the project will start soon. Oh, I may say it will start right now, because I mentioned there were several documents or agreements have been signed. Some were memos, which means that two sides will go through further discussions or to finalize the plans. But some the agreement for the specific project which will be implemented very soon.
And now the Rural Electrification Authority, REA, in partnership with USAID-funded Empowerment Southern Africa program, has embarked on empowering and promoting female-led businesses in the energy sector. REA CEO Linus Chanda says empowering women in the energy sector is cardinal in improving households' welfare and promoting the participation of women in key sectors of the economy, such as energy. Mr. Chanda was speaking at the start of a two-day workshop which has drawn stakeholders from the energy sector, female entrepreneurs and industry experts to discuss strategies for increasing women's participation in the energy sector. And Empower Southern Africa's senior gender advisor, Edith Makandi, says the energy sector is a critical component of the country's development and women must be at the forefront of the growth.
Today marks a pivotal moment in our journey towards achieving gender equality and inclusiveness in an industry that is traditionally being dominated by men. The energy sector is not just the cornerstone of our economy. It is the driver of the economy. Just look at how much we're complaining and how we feel our lives have been disturbed by the prevailing load shedding. This is what the energy sector brings to the economy. It is also an arena filled with immense potential and innovation, growth and sustainability. The topics that have been planned to be covered over the course of this workshop, which include financial management and profitability, tender procedures and procurement processes, benefits of value addition and opportunities in the energy sector, are not merely technical subjects. They represent the building blocks for economic empowerment, social advancement, and sustainable development. Each of these areas provides critical skills that will not only enhance the capacities of women-led companies, but also enrich the entire energy landscape.
We can get to see how we can partner in also accelerated decarbonization and then fostering innovation in the Southern African energy sector. How do we use innovation to make sure that we don't do things the way they were done, but we are doing things differently? We need to have you become innovators of doing things differently. We have our beautiful stories of what is really happening.
And in business news, Eastern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape says there is need for the Chipata Industrial Yard to be opened up for the business community to start accessing it. Dr. Mwape says the province, being known for its entrepreneurial activities, requires a vibrant industrial yard that will enable businesses compete at a higher scale. We have more in this report.
They sit patiently and expectantly, waiting for an interaction with the Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC, to discuss various issues pertaining to empowerment opportunities being offered. These are businessmen and women of Chipata District who operate in various value chains and had a chance to receive information from CEEC on the ongoing empowerment products.
There's so many things that then stop working nicely. This is why the path you've chosen as entrepreneurs is key. You make your money in perpetuity. You get off the stage, your businesses will continue making the money. So, next of kin, they continue with the beneficiation. Wealth creation path is the critical path we must all take. So the sector codes will be used by government to push the agenda of involvement of Zambians in each and every sector, and those will be measurable.
Eastern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Louis Mwape said the engagement is a game changer for the business community in the province.
First of all, we want capital. And we are not just looking for capital for apples. We are looking for capital for use in our business. The issue of industrial yard for Eastern Province is very cardinal, and I know that you are going to speak to it, and the sooner we open that place for the manufacturers in here, I think it will be good enough, not so colleagues.
Meanwhile, the entrepreneurs presented some challenges and recommendations to enhance SME participation in economic development.
Is there a shortcut channel you can consider to us marketeers?
Let me also thank the President of the Republic of Zambia for the political will. That even at the time, even when he was in opposition, he talked of issues of wanting to empower Zambians. We thought maybe it was one of those political pronouncements. But indeed, the empowerment itself came back to a person like me.
Let's come and join hands so that as a business community, we can voice out with one voice.
For accountability purposes, CEEC has made it a requirement that all applicants should be affiliates of different chambers of commerce and groupings. Vupesendo for ZANIS in Chipata, Eastern Province.
And now, Lusaka Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Alex Mapushi has urged Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu to urgently conduct a land audit at the district administration to ascertain the true owners over the infrastructure on the premises. Mr. Mapushi says that there is so much land sitting on the district administration premises that is occupying buildings that government cannot account for, and yet space is needed to expand offices for the public workers. He said this when he visited government offices housed at the district and administration to appreciate both the working environment and the infrastructure. We have more in this report.
Lusaka Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Alex Mapushi says it is saddening that Lusaka District Administration is housing buildings that cannot be accounted for, as it is not certain as to who owns them. This came to light when he visited government offices housed at the district administration, where he noticed a number of buildings that he described as defacing the government premises.
We realized that we've got quite some space here. We have a number of buildings actually over here. There are quite some buildings that are ugly and they don't too old and they shouldn't be here. So this place is not safe. If it wasn't for this fence, I mean it was worse then, but now still we still have people passing through here like it's a drive there, it's a pass through. We shouldn't be the case.
Mr. Mapushi has since urged the Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu to conduct land audit at the premises.
So I've asked her to see if she can quickly do an audit of the land situation here. So what building is here, who's occupying it, if they are claiming that they are the owners, how they came to acquire that. So all that information is important so that once we have that information, then we can see what we can do to ensure that there's sanity here.
Among the government departments visited is the National Registration, Passport and Citizenship.
It's meaning almost 1,000 per month. Beds for Lusaka district. The integrated national registration system, sir, those are the computers which we have.
The Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu has appreciated the visit by the Deputy Permanent Secretary.
I'm so happy that our DPS has come to visit us. Since the time of memorial, they have never experienced this, but now you can see former offices looking the way it is. I think it's because of the leadership also, which they are also offering above there.
ZANIS reports in Lusaka.
Well, let us now take our first break. We'll be right back shortly for more news. Stay tuned.
How I Made It is a program that delves into the many success stories of different people from all walks of life. Watch How I Made It on ZANIS TV every Thursday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, Channel 6 DTT, and Channel 458 DTH.
Now, the Eastern Water and Sanitation Company Limited has earmarked to drill 6 industrial boreholes in Katete district at a cost of 4 million kwacha for water supply in the area. The district is currently experiencing water scarcity after the only dam that supplies water to the residents started drying up due to the drought experienced in the 2023 to 2024 rain season. Hope Walia reports that Acting Eastern Province Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape toured the dam to appreciate the extent of the problem.
With 40,000 people at risk of no water within 2 weeks due to the low water levels at the Katete Dam, government is working round the clock to remedy the situation. Speaking when he appreciated the extent of the problem, Eastern Province Acting Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape assured the residents of Katete of government's quick intervention to the problem.
The water levels have gone very, very much down for Katete Dam, and we are happy also to give hope to the people of Katete that this government is already in the process of ensuring that we drill boreholes with this to support or just to mitigate the situation that has befallen us because of the drought. And as government, we will do everything we can to ensure that there is no disruption in the supply of water to the people of Katete, at least at an economized rate. So as government, we are really committed to ensure that everything that we are doing, we are being proactive, and we are going to ensure that this drought, we beat it, and by ensuring that resources are pumped into relevant institutions.
Yes, Acting PS Minister of Water, on Friday when I called her, she was signing the letter for the release of funds from Ministry headquarters to Eastern Water.
And Eastern Water and Sanitation Company Managing Director gave an update on the matter.
Like you've seen, the dam was dried up, and currently we are grateful as Eastern Water that the government has committed resources to have this matter resolved. So an amount of 4 million kwacha has been allocated to ensure that we drill 6 industrial boreholes and equip them with solar-powered pumps so that we should be able to deal with the situation at hand. We would have unforeseen circumstances, but that's our target, to ensure that before we completely run out, we have a backup source.
Hope Walia, Katete District, Eastern Province.
And in a related development, the Zambezi Town Council has handed over 3 boreholes funded through the Constituents Development Fund CDF to benefit schools and communities in the area. Zambezi East Member of Parliament Brian Kambita, who officiated at the handover ceremony, urged communities to support President Hakainde Hichilema's vision of using CDF to propel developmental initiatives that directly benefit local people. Here is a report.
In a symbolic gesture highlighting the safety and the purity of a newly accessible water source, Zambezi East Member of Parliament Brian Kambita demonstrated his confidence by hydrating himself and subsequently cleansing his face. The purpose of this gesture is to reassure the community of the safety and reliability of the water. Speaking during the handover, Mr. Kambita expressed happiness that CDF has provided practical aspect of resolving people's challenges, particularly in rural areas.
I'm elated by the fact that the community here is excited that development is going to all parts of the country without segregation. CDF is a game changer. If you want to see the practical aspects of CDF, these are the ones. These people here will have access to clean water because of the CDF.
Meanwhile, Water and Sanitation Coordinator Isabel Kalaluka highlighted the benefit of the project.
From this community, people were able then to move 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers to go and get water to these shallow wells that they have in this place. So having this borehole around here We are talking of people having access to clean and safe water, a reduction in diseases.
Residents have expressed their satisfaction with this initiative. For ZANIS in Zambezi district.
And now on empowerment, government has disbursed the 2024 Constituents Development Fund CDF grants worth 2.2 million kwacha to 76 cooperatives, women groups and youth clubs in Isoka district. Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule, who handed over the grants to the beneficiaries, underscored government's dedication to drive development and improve citizens' livelihoods through CDF. We have more in this report.
In a significant boost to local development, the 2024 CDF allocation for Isoka district has provided 2.2 million in grants to benefit 76 cooperatives, women's groups and youth clubs. Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule officiated the ceremony, which was held at Isoka Town Council.
Of 2024 empowerment grants to 76 beneficiary groups. This group here that are seated here is going to receive well over 2 million kwacha. We hold on government's commitment to continue this momentum and ensuring that CDF remains a powerful tool for driving development and improving lives in our districts. What is happening here in Isoka today is happening in 116 districts of the Republic of Zambia. CDF is changing lives, and the vision of His Excellency, which continues uplifting the lives of our citizens, especially the most vulnerable.
Senior Chief Kafwimbi urged recipients to use the funds responsibly to improve their lives, and the beneficiaries thanked the government and further encouraged fellow recipients to use the funds wisely.
Mwara wafuma papa kuti wae wafike kuuzia nganda ndio inzira chefiri mwandi musoena kumangana asawani so lekani zindara mapanozi yako injira ziombe kulingana na maplani ino vino mwapangai
tulefo okutira mwebana bakolesa tutoteri obuteko bwesu ba HH babirimo intu bale bomba lero shimpia batupera bane tubombe gwino ngefine bali so serekale nefu bashe tusambirisha bya bushiku bale komaira pali chimochine na inewe amina propere ndeko maira kuti abana mayo makamaka fe bana mayo tuiona ule shimpia iyo bale kabireko bali abana nso bashire nabo bale kabiro kuti bakesefuka kweshinda lamanga cha kuti twabomba bwino abana nso bene bakesefuka kwa bali kuluma
Enjoho Isoka.
In our on agriculture segment, Mazabuka district has launched a cash for work program to respond to the national drought crisis. Mazabuka District Commissioner Oliver Mulumba says the program targets to empower 500 individuals who will take part in manual work activities. Kazela Hawanda brings us the details.
Following the national drought crisis, government has put in place several measures to respond to the challenge. One of the latest measures introduced is the cash for work, which is spearheaded by local authorities. Mazabuka District has launched its program in Mazabuka Central Ward. The District Commissioner Oliver Mulumba has stated that over 500 individuals have been targeted to benefit from the 900,000 cash for work budget in the district.
It is a well-intended program which needs to be managed very well by all of us. The aim for this program is to ensure those who are not benefiting from these other programs which are already existing, they also benefit. And I'm sure through this program, nobody will be left out in the district. At least each one of us from each household will be benefiting from one of the other programs.
Meanwhile, the local authority, through the Mayor Vincent Ilanda and the Town Clerk Judith Mukwita, has urged the community to take advantage of this program to sustain their households while providing a community service.
So my measures manji mula igalali mu community iendele kwa a government kubona kuti wina wawanzara kamba president baji kan tangana what no one is going to die of hunger tembo kubo mukopo pauli kwa mukopo ni mwali
kati mwabola kukubereka mutoko ikunga kumunda kojisi jamba kamubola amatuza.
The beneficiaries are grateful to government for this program. Among the activities include cleaning of public places and working on identified projects in exchange for cash. Kazela ya Bwanda, ZANIS, in Mazabuka District, Southern Province.
Was still in agriculture news, Zambia Air Force Deputy Commander General Arthur Kalaluka says the Air Force is committed towards contributing to the growth of the agriculture sector in the country. And speaking when he paid courtesy call on Eastern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Lewis Mwape, Major General Kalaluka says the Air Force plans to procure land for farming activities to contribute to national food security.
Zambia Air Force Deputy Commander Major General Arthur Kalaluka says the Zambia Air Force is committed to contribute to the growth of the agriculture sector in the country. The Zambia Air Force Deputy Commander was speaking this afternoon during a courtesy call paid on Eastern Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Dr. Lewis Mwape.
But have gone full force to venture into agriculture so that we alleviate and curb this security threat of hunger. I think on the Cover Belt so far we have acquired quite some land. It's important that we come to the Eastern Province. We are aware that you're doing very fine, especially in maize production. In the past it used to be a groundnut region, but somehow we could see when the weather is appropriate, even from the air we could see that the fields were actually doing very fine in terms of our staple food, maize. And for sure, as we visit the chiefs, we request for land so that we reciprocate to what the commanding chief has advised us to undertake as a military. Otherwise, we thank you very much, and we are sure we'll get all the support even from yourselves in assisting us. Come from Lusaka with the greetings from the Air Force Commander, Lieutenant General Msitu Nyoni. Our province, which is Eastern Province, I believe that through continued collaboration between our officers based here, we can effectively address challenges and enhance the safety and well-being of the communities within this province. Together, we need to strengthen our partnership and work towards a brighter future for all.
And Dr. Mwape commended the Zambia Air Force for its various works in the country, especially works targeted at saving lives.
Let me first just by taking this opportunity to thank the Zambia Air Force for the major role, especially that it plays in evacuations, or especially when we have VIPs who become unfortunate in terms of sickness. I think your Zambia Air Force has been very instrumental in ensuring that such kind of airlifting of our people, not just VIPs, but whenever we have such issues, that part of our security wing has been very, very instrumental. And let me just extend my gratitude to your leadership. Second, in governance, ZAF also has been very instrumental. Sometimes we have areas in our you know that Eastern Province is almost 85% rural, and some places are hard to reach in terms of using the road transport. So in terms of electoral issues, lifting of ballot papers, picking them, delivering and picking them, I think you have been very, very instrumental, and we just want you to thank you for that kind of work.
Sylvester Chimba for ZANIS in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
And now, a Zambian chef has been awarded by the African Women Food Fellowship at the just-ended Africa Food System Forum in Kigali, Rwanda. And Chef Katendi Nkanza was recognized for her culinary innovation at an event that attracted 5,000 participants from 97 countries across the globe. Ms. Nkanza, who is also the owner of Kate in Your Kitchen, says there is need to change the food culture in Zambia by ensuring that the country promotes and preserves its rich culinary culture heritage. In an interview with ZANIS, Ms. Nkanza expressed commitment in driving meaningful impact and creating a more equitable food system in Zambia through our experience and networks.
One of them, because the Food Summit really inspired me to come and change the food culture in Zambia. So one of the things I want to do is to promote and preserve our rich culinary culture heritage. And I also want to start a Feed the School program, where we feed healthy food to kids in schools. I think we need to talk more about food and agriculture, and more emphasis needs to be placed on nutrition, because that's the only way we'll be able to solve world hunger, especially like in Africa. Africa is vast and we've got so many natural resources, so there's no reason why African children, African people should be hungry. I believe Africa can feed itself, and it starts with us. So we need to do more campaigns and more initiatives that also encourage women in the food and agriculture business to step up and provide them with platforms and resources to do what we need to do. So I have a plan. Okay, when I went through the summit, there were people doing presentations on preserving their culinary cultural heritage, and they're talking about spices that they have that are indigenous to, for example, Nigeria. And I thought to myself, I don't know any spice or any herb that is indigenous to Zambia. So my plan is to do some research on that, go back to the grassroots and the old people who know these things, so that we can preserve that and also educate the public on it. Yeah. And also to do fun ways and more innovative, modern ways in incorporating those old traditional styles and food into the current atmosphere.
And our agriculturalist in Mwansabombo district, Joseph Kangwa, says the implementation of the Food and Nutrition Security Enhanced Resilience project is bearing fruits in the area. Mr. Kangwa says the project being implemented by the German corporation, Zambia, has resulted in improved nutrition status among members of the country. Laos Changwe gives us the details.
Mwansabombwe is one of the 3 districts in Wapura province in which the Food and Nutrition Security Enhanced Resilience Funza project by the German corporation GIZ is being implemented. So far, the objective of the project to improve nutrition situations for people living in food insecure households, especially women of reproductive age and children under the age of 2 years, is being realized. A number of beneficiaries in Mwansabombwe have embraced the project by engaging in vegetable production through backyard and keyhole gardens.
Rabasha kwete ko chimusango cha kulima tuma vegetables pamayanda lelo bale kwanisha ukuwomba ukupichira muri keyhole garden basatulanga chakwe bati chiri simple ukutapirisha.
Turesambisha abantu ifyo tuinga isunga mukwikala mukulima utulimwa utuingalinga pamayanda okupitira mu keyhole garden. Ubusuma buli muri keyhole garden busuma bwakutira tureba omufya mufundo wa chikaya katureba omufya endalama kabiri tureba omufya amensha yalinga
abana nabaleka kubulisha efya kulya mubiri n'abakuru bene nafitako improve mabwika shi Yesu makamaka abana banono.
Joseph Kangwa, an agricultural assistant for Mwansabombwe, has given credit to GIZ for partnering with the Department of Agriculture in the implementation of the project.
Firstly, I want to give credits to FANSA for the head which they are doing to our farmers. Their nutritional standard and status at the household level is improving. We are training them on how to make their own fertilizers naturally. We are training them to use their natural pesticides. We are training them even on how to take care of their environment.
Lewis Changwe, ZANIS, Mwansabombwe, Wapura province.
Now, in environmental news, a traditional leader in Chisankane ward of Kafue district has called for more sensitization on environmental protection and safety measures against dust pollution. Speaking during the launch of Chisankane Chifuema Environmental Protection Project by Ray's Community Aid Program, Headman Livubi says the area is having high numbers of tuberculosis cases and other respiratory infections due to dust pollution from mining activity. Naomi Piri covered the launch and gives us the details.
In a bid to mitigate the effects of dust pollution, which is a growing hazard threatening human health and the environment, Rice Community Aid Program, RECAP, with support from Global Green Fund, is working on a project to reduce environmental degradation and health risks in the Chisankane and Chifuema wards of Kafue district.
The aim of this project is really to just reduce environmental degradation and health risks on the population of Sankane and Chifuema by actively engaging and empowering the communities around here, including you, our school-going children, to be custodians, to be environmental defenders of our environment here.
Headman Lubindi has called for more sensitization on environmental protection and safety measures against dust pollution.
Ndamulumbu maningi kwambe tumwikatishe kutaba gwepe kuno konka neku mazoni wonsashala mukashigeko.
Kafue District Commissioner Maurice Kapulwe, who officiated the launch of the Environmental Protection Project, commended the organization for implementing the project in Kafue District.
It is with great pleasure that I stand before you today at the launch of this crucial initiative, the Chifuema Sankane Environmental Protection Project, which aims to address environmental degradation and its associated health risks in these two wards. As we are all aware, Sankane and Chifuema face environmental challenges, particularly land degradation and dust pollution resulting from quarrying activity. This has led to an increase in respiratory diseases, particularly affecting our children and women.
Reporting, I'm Nampiri.
Also in the news, Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao has expressed happiness with the quality of works being undertaken by the Road Development Agency RDA, which is patching up potholes along the Kasama-Mbala Road. Mr. Mbao said this when he inspected the road works in Kasama. We have more in this report.
The patching of potholes along the Kasama-Mbala Road is progressing well. The Road Development Agency, RDA, is undertaking rehabilitation works from Kasama to Mbala district. Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao has inspected the works and is impressed with the progress.
We have really put a lot of effort, a lot of minds to ensure that this road becomes as good as it can be. For now, this is the remedial measures we are doing as we are waiting to work on those big plans. I think we are not just going to leave it until the plan is done. No, we are doing again remedial measures so that at least it's motorable for the meantime.
Mr. Mbao expressed confidence that the works will be expedited.
They have got enough capacity to ensure that they do the remedial works up to the last point before the onset of rains. So that is dependent on how, as government, we are going to support them to ensure that they have got available resources. They are very happy to say that the government has helped in terms of getting bituminous. Bitumen here they have got enough. So they just want the money for operations, the money for buying cement and the other things.
RDA Regional Manager Ben Kashimoto accompanied the minister.
Honorable Minister, we have three main roads which are very important for us here, the Kasama-Mpika, Kasama-Luwingu and Kasama-Mbala. And these roads, especially the Kasama-Mbala, you can see that obviously at some point they will just require to be worked on fully, like for the whole stretch. It's quite an important road even for us. And that's why even in terms of packaging this road, we have included the section from Mbala Junction and Bulungu to Kasesha border. The government is planning also to develop that border.
For ZANIS News in Kasama, I am Patrick Kabwe.
Well, and finally in the news, Chipolo Polo boys have brightened their chances of qualifying to the Africa Cup of Nations after beating Sierra Leone 3-2 in a 5-goal thriller at the backyard in Dola at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium. Now, coach Avram Grant praised the boys for collecting 3 maximum points to emerge second in Group G. In Group G, after group leaders Ivory Coast humbled Chad 2-0 in a game played last night. We have more in this report.
The Chipolo boys beating of Sierra Leone 3-2 in a game played last night at 21 hours at Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola on the Copper Belt has laid a solid foundation for the team that has played 3 competitive matches without a win. The boys redeemed themselves in a hard-won match which had started punch for punch as Sierra Leone came from behind twice to equalize and almost dampened the morale of soccer fans who had turned up to watch the match at an unusual kickoff time of 21 hours. However, a moment of triumph came in the dying minutes of the game as Krimskamp expertly taken free kick sealed off the victory to put a smile on these soccer fans who had flocked to Levi Mwanawasa Stadium to drum up support for the Chipolo boys. In a post-match presser, coach Avram Grant, who has been previously under pressure for registering 3 losses in a row, praised his boys for a good display of the game.
When we say it was the same like it was in Ivory Coast, the players are showing a lot of fight spirit, commitment, and I'm very happy for this. Just if you allow me to say one word about, let's speak about individual, but one word about Kevin Kapapa. His mother died, but even though he came to the camp, he trained well, his spirit was good, and he also scored goal and voted this week. His ability was very good. It's not easy after what he had, with his mom and everything. So I want to say all in good one. And I think it's a symbol for this team that we are a team. We are playing like a team with these players, even though we show that we are a good team, with a good spirit, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for the team.
Sierra Leone coach praised Zambia for winning the match, but condemned the soccer fans for throwing bottles in the stadium after his team equalized the second goal.
In our reserve bench, there are some fans that are throwing bottles around my players. But this is football, and we do tolerate violence in football. And I'm urging the FA and the people responsible authority, because it doesn't put a good signal about Zambia. When we are playing a match, supporters are throwing bottles and stones. It's not a sportsmanship at all. We know Zambia people are very nice people, but what I saw today at the tail match, I don't think it's good for football. I think it's good for sports.
The Chipolo boys scored their first goal through Kennedy Musonda in the 28th minute after a creative movement. In 70th minute, Wanga Kampamba scored a beauty and Krimskamp sealed off the win through a free kick to dampen the morale of the visitors who had earlier proved difficult to break. Tovini Ngombe, ZANIS, Ndola.
Well, thank you so much for that report, and that one brings us to the end of the news. Before I finish, we look at those stories that made us headlines. Zambia and China MOUs to be actualized. East PS calls for opening of Chipata industrial yards. Government funds drilling of 6 industrial boreholes in Katete. Plus, Zambia tossed win against Sierra Leone. Well, that was all we had for you here at ZANIS, and thank you so much for being with us. On behalf of the entire production crew, enjoy the rest of our programming. Stay tuned.